Masikati akanaka tinokuchingamidzai pano paSouth TV. Ndini venyu Monica kunze kweguta, mushamarari, ndiri author, ndiri compiler uyezve ndiri life coach. Ndiri kufara nekuti nhasi tine hanzvadzi dzedu dziri kuUK nekuScotland nekuSouth Africa vatiri kuti titaure navo nyaya Diaspora medical insurance. Saka ndichati vakuudzei kuti ndivanani vari kupi uye vanoita nezvei. Asi ndikutanga naTete Spiwe. Tete Spiwe, chingamidzai vateereri venyu.
Takuchingamidzai vateereri pachirongwa chedu. Tadzoka zvekare. Ini ndoitwa Spiwe Kachidza Mapfumo. I wear different hats. I'm always on Salve with Monica and Chakutoita Fankanda co-host wake. But I'm a journalist and broadcaster. I am also a feminist, and I am an advocate for several things. But in HIV, and I'm coordinator of a program in HIV. But anyway, support my programs. Program yedu bata zvinhu zvatinoita face every day kuno kuDiaspora neavo vari kumusha. Tinoda kuita welcome George natapiwa pachirongwa chanhasi.
Tatenda George.
Right, ini ndinoitwa makadi yenyu hama neshamwari. Ndinoitwa George Muchapirei. Ndiri kujoina nhasi ndiri kuScotland. Ndinoshanda pamwechete na mukoma Tapiwa sekudzwa kwamaita. Tiri kuDiaspora meds. I think ndicharegedza hangu kuti ndite go too much into it nekuti zvinhu zvatichange tichidi tichikurukura nezvazvo muchirongwa, asi ndinofara stere kugove ndiri pano maita basa.
Tatenda tichienda kuna mukoma Tapiwa.
Maita basa Auntie Monica. Ini ndinoitwa Tapiwa Virima. Tinokuchingamidza hama neshamwari. As already said, ndinonzi Tapiwa Virima. I'm the managing director of Diaspora Medical Insurance. I think we'll delve more into discussions around Diaspora Medical Insurance nekubetserana kwatinoita nevari kugara kuDiaspora nevariko kumusha kuZimbabwe. Maita basa Auntie Monica.
Tinotenda. Tichienda kuna mukoma Simba.
Makadi zvenyu. Tinoitwa mukoma Simba. Nhasi ndiri pano ndendiri in the background. Tisu tinosupporta Diaspora meds from a reinsurance point of view, tichimake sure kuti the cover that is being provided is with world-class reinsurance companies. Thank you.
Tatenda. Saka ndofunga pekutangira pachona patinotangira ndepekuda kunzwa kuti chii chakakuitai kuti mufunge kuti apa pane gap apa pari kuda kukavhiwa, manga maona chii?
Okay, thank you very much for that pertinent question. I should say that is a very important question. What exactly did you see in the market to say there's a gap? I think I'll take you back to the landscape of medical service provision in the country. There's so much reliance on public service provision from a medical point of view within the country. And from that point of view, you see that approximately 90% of the population is reliant on public medical service provision, which I think everyone agrees or knows that is in a poor state at the present point in time. And it is difficult to get medical aid or to get medical insurance if you are not employed in the country or if you're not a beneficiary of an employed person. And it leaves you basically to 3 or 5 of the big players, which are very pricey and which the service provision is very poor. So you find that 90% of our population is not insured from a medical point of view or from a medical aid point of view. And whereas if we've got an unemployment rate of 95%, most of those people do not have beneficiaries. So when you find people going to seek medical aid or medical assistance at the instance of an emergency, you find that people can't access it from private medical healthcare systems because of the expense related to that. So isusu takaona kuti sikure kwatiri kuDiaspora kuno kuti katibatsire vana vari kuba tivape access to private medical healthcare, and the only way we can do this is to establish a medical insurance product, the Diaspora medical insurance.
Okay. Tetesipiwe. Mnemvunzere.
Yes, ndakandichida kuti tipinde zvataurwa naTapiwa kuti saka how does that work, logistics dzacho kuti zvinofamba sei kune vanhu vari in the diaspora who are interested in paying for my family members ari kumusha ivo vari kunoku. Can you walk us through that one kuti what's the processes kuti dzakamira sei?
Right, I think ipapo ndogona kubatsira. Ndogona kubatsira kuti ndidere ipapa. So at the present moment, inonzi gwara rekuti vanhu vakwanise kusvika kwatiri, mainly it's through website Diaspora Meds. So kune website inonzi diasporameds.com, anditika vanhu vakaenda ipapo vanokwanisa kuwana urongwa hwese hweDiaspora Meds. I think zvakatsanangurwa neudzamu kuti vanhu vadini vanzwisise. Kana paine zvavanenge vasinganzwisise, pane option yekuti vanhu vadini va reach out kwatiri as Diaspora Meds, whether through the website sekutaura kwandaita kana kuti mamwe machannels akadai nekuti social media. Anditika social media iriyo inenge ichisanganisira zvinhu zvakadai nekuti Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and so forth. Tinowanikwa kuma platforms iwayo. Anditika again zvazvinoita ndezvekuti Diaspora Meds yakatima up ne distribution company inonzi Tengai Online. Anditika so again Tengai Online is quite an established brand mu groceries industry re diaspora community. Saka through that platform again people can link to Diaspora Meds. Saka I could say that there are several channels dzekukwanisa ku reach out to Diaspora Meds.
Saka Tengai ndewechi? Tengai anotengesa chi?
Yeah, Tengai Online primarily inotengesa ma groceries. Anditika but sekutaura kwandaita yakatima up ne Diaspora Meds, which means kuti ma customers anga agara achishandisa Tengai Online, they now have the option to further reach ku Diaspora Meds because of that relationship yarepo. Anditika Diaspora Meds, as you would probably be aware, if you're not aware, is a product yakauya ku market last year, although it is a product yanga ichigadzirwa for a while now, but kuti izosvika ku market yakasvika last year. So to help with the distribution of the product, that is where Tengai Online came in to try and help kuti tikwanise kusvika kune vanhu vakawanda in the shortest possible time span, if you will.
I was going to go.
Okay.
Can you tell me?
Go ahead.
You said yakatanga last year. Diaspora medical insurance yakatanga last year. Is that what you said?
That's correct.
Do you feel kuti vanhu vari kuziva enough about it? Because kana muchingoita through Tengai chete, maybe there are quite a lot of people who are not aware of this product, and yeah. I don't know if you've gone full-fledged, because I know on the social media it's another platform where you can sell your product. Yes, but there are some people who are not on it on social media, and who are really not aware of it. I don't know if you have been to a couple of places to try and raise awareness of
right.
The need
for
this.
I think it's very, very important. Of course, kuti product risvike kune vanhu rinoda kuti riendeswe nemachannels akaita se akasiyana siyana. Sekutaura kwamaita vanhu havasi panzvimbo one, vanhu vari kunzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana. That is again one of the reasons why tada kuuya panapa nhasi, nekuti takaongororawo futi tikaona zviri kuitika panapa, handiti tikaona value yacho and we think kuti by coming here tichikurukura nemi tichionesawo vamwe kuti zvii zviri kuitika, they will have an opportunity yekuti vaone. But again, we appreciate and we accept kuti that is not all that we need to do. There is a lot that we need to do, and there is a lot that we plan to do. But I think primary challenge yatakaita mugore ratalauncha sekuziva kwatinoita tese, takalauncha mugore ranga richinetsa nenyaya yepandemic handitika. What that has obviously done is it has meant kuti in terms of social interaction offline, it has been very limited handitika. So nokuda kweizvozvo we've had to rely a little bit more than we would have wanted on my social networks handitika to try and reach out to people. But we accept kuti going forward zvinhu zvichiita zvichiimprove tinenge tine tariro yekuti tinokwanisa kuti tinge tichiita reach out more and use more channels kuti tisvike kune vanhu vatinofungidzira kuti vangangove vari vanhu vangawane kubatsirikana neproduct ratiinaro.
Okay, go ahead.
I think just to back what George has said up, look, I think we established ourselves last year, and I think like George has said, we've had our challenges, of course, because of the pandemic and everything, but we've tried to make our social media presence very very visible to everyone. And I should say we've reached out to people in Canada, America, Ireland, Dubai, and mostly United Kingdom, as well as South Africa, and even our own country in Zim as well. So I think we are on the right step in terms of moving towards reaching out to people, because we're offering a life-changing essential medical products to everyone, which I think we've got more than 4 million Zimbabweans living across or outside the country. And this service becomes essential because out of this 4 million Zimbabweans living outside the country, you find that everyone has got a parent back home, everyone has got a sister back home, everyone has got a relative of some sort who needs some sort of medical care. And at some point, these people have been able to ask you to say, "Nditumreo mshonga, nditumreo chakati, that's medical related, or pay for my medical bill." And we've come into the space to say, look, we are trying to reach out. So we are not where we are in terms of wanting to reach out to Zimbabweans, because we are 4 million of us out there living in the diaspora, and we ideally want to reach out of us. But we're making those aggressive efforts, and we envisage that within the 2021 year, we should be able to reach out to every Zimbabwean out there in every point where you are across the globe from a diaspora point of view.
Ma premiums enyu akamira sei uye what do they cover? And also munhu akatanga kubhadhara, how long does it take kuti akwanise kuclaim medical insurance yacho?
Okay, thank you very much, Auntie Monica. That's a very pertinent question with regards to every medical aid and every medical insurance. I'll start by saying that we've got 3-tiered product system, and our 3-tiered medical system is we've got 3 products which are cover point of view and from a pricing point of view. And I should say our first product is called the Manuka, which is our entrance point of view. For just to clarify, our products are classified around the Beehive system, because we are in partnership with Selmet Insurance, who are our underwriters in Zimbabwe. And they are a strategic insurance and a strategic partner because of their capability and their presence within the country and their ranking in terms of medical insurance. So I should hasten to mention that they're a very important partner in this discussion as well. So is Mark Shaw, who is represented by Simba here. So just to get back to that discussion with regards to our premium structure. Our premium structure is structured as follows. So we've got the Manuka product, which covers you for $13,000 US a year. So it gives you cover of medical insurance for $13,000 US a year for your loved ones back home. And then we've got our middle product, which is called the Lavender. Lavender gives you cover of up to $21,000 US a year on an annual basis. And our premium product is called the Clover. Clover gives you cover of $33,000 US a year with an option for international care in South Africa and in India, upon the recommendation of a specialist that you failed to access services in Zimbabwe, and you have to be referred to South Africa or to India. We've got a partnership with Apollo Group of Hospitals in India, where you can be accepted for medical services. And also we've got a partnership with Netcare in South Africa. So basically from a pricing point of view, our pricing is based on the fact that we've got 3 age tiers, and our 3 age tiers range from a child, an adult, and a pensioner. From a child point of view, we look at you from 0 to 18 years of age. And from 0 to 18 years of age, our pricing on Manuka is $32. And then from an adult point of view, it's 19 to 64. 19 to 64 on Manuka, you are basically paying $48. And then if you're a pensioner from 65 and above, you are paying $60. Lavender, if you're a child, you're paying $43, which gives you cover of 21,000 US dollars a year. As an adult, you are paying $72, and as you are paying $60, sorry, and as a pensioner, you are paying $72. For Clover, a child is paying $50 per month, and an adult is paying $80 per month, and a pensioner is paying $92 per month for cover of up to 33,000 US dollars a year. So basically, our prices are based in US dollars, and our benefits are based in also US dollars, which gives us preferential service across 500 service providers that we've established across the country. So we basically have a premium selection of service providers that are private medical service providers across the country that basically give you that preference use. And this gives you a benefit above every other medical aid that just gives you preference to public medical health care.
Auntie Monica, Muri muted.
There was noise in the background, so so what does it? Can you give us a list of what it covers? Is there anything that you know is exempt from that from being covered?
Okay, so one of the things that we've come into the market and realized is that because we are catering for a diaspora market, and most of our people in the diaspora, and they're catering for their parents or they're catering for their loved ones back home that are already in need of medication and in need of general practitioner visits. What we've done is we've waived our product from having waiting periods for certain aspects that we envisage to be the most basic medical needs that any person needs. So for example, the most basic thing is we think everyone needs access to chronic medication and acute medication. And for that reason, we've waived the waiting period for those kind of aspects. And also just to see the doctor and to have a general scan. We think those 4 aspects are the most critical aspects that anyone has to have access to. And we've waived waiting periods to those. So to add to those 4 benefits that we've added to our no waiting period aspect, we have also realized that we're in a pandemic and no one plans for a pandemic. And because no one plans for a pandemic, we've also waived all waiting periods related to aspects related to COVID. So be it hospitalization, medication, testing of COVID, we've waived the waiting period. So what it basically means is if you join our medical aid today, you can access all those medical benefits immediately, which is COVID-related benefits, which is chronic medication-related benefits, which is acute medication-related benefits, which is going to see the doctor, and which is just having a general scan. However, like any medical aid that exists across the world, we also do have waiting periods for aspects that relate to things like dental care, optical care, hospitalization, and specialist visits, which is standard anywhere on any medical care, on any medical service. So I think that basically covers our product. But what makes us competitive is that we've waived waiting periods for the most basic and most essential things that you need within a medical care point of view.
Tapiwa, that's fantastic that you have waived that, but for under normal circumstances, once you start paying your premiums, how long does it take for anybody to make a claim?
So like I said,
for instance, on dental.
Okay, so from dental, it ranges from 6 to 12 months. So your dental benefit basically kicks in within 12 months. Because obviously, dental is a bit more complex in terms of what you need from a dental point of view. So from a claims point of view, your dental would take 12 months waiting period, which I think standard on the market, we are average on the market in terms of that waiting period. If you look at the standard waiting periods, especially in Zimbabwe, most people are beyond the 12 months period, if you can even access the dental care from most of the existing medical aids. But for ourselves, we've made it 12 months because we know that obviously within that we've built a cover to be able to build a buffer, you know, to sustain your dental care benefits. As well, that goes for optical benefits, but we've lowered it a lot more for things such as hospitalization, because we know, look, dealing with our clients, we found that most of the people are dealing with a bigger age group of pensioners, and at the end of the day, they need to be hospitalized at some point in time. So we've lowered it below average of the market to 6 months, and the same with specialist care, we've lowered that to 6 months. CT scans, MRI scans, which are the most essential, we've also lowered those to about 6 months.
Okay, handizive hangu zvakawanda, just realizing kuti tata kumatangotaura chirungu chete. Handisive hangu zvakawanda about how the insurance is kuti inotangira pakati, handiti, but dental, especially for the elderly, the need is quite high, because, and then for them to wait for 1 year, I think it's a bit much, because kana zinorwadza harina any, which means it's an expense yakamira. Munhu aine insurance cover with you, but hasikukwanisa kuaccessa that cover because akufana kumira kuti eye itange, maybe ane 7 months achibhadhara premium, zita zinorarwadza manje, kotsvagwa extra cash kuti ikave.
Okay, so just to answer your question there, Auntie Monica, with regards to medication for your dental after visit, that is not a problem, because that is no waiting period. Acute medication I'm not a medical doctor or pharmacist myself, but acute medication is defined as your medical needs that are applied to as and when they do not sustain your life, but it's a once-off medication that you may need to get over a certain situation. So basically what that does is, if you go to a doctor and you need the medication that has to do with your dental or your eyes or anything, that is classified as acute medication, because we do understand that you then have immediate access to that. So you can pay for your medical care today, and you've got medication that needs to carry you through your teeth or through your eyes. You can access that medication immediately because it's classified under acute medication. But I however, want to hasten to mention that I disagree with you a little bit with regards to the fact that most of our benefits or most of our medical care for the elderly is based on dental care. You find that the reason most of our people are suffering from diabetic needs, they're suffering from hypertension, they're suffering from HIV and AIDS, they're suffering from cancer. And those are the things that you need medication for, because those are lifetime diseases, and that's chronic medication. And this is the reason why we say you join our medical aid today for those things like arthritis, hypertension, diabetes, HIV and AIDS, cancer. We cater for those things immediately, because we know you cannot wait for tomorrow to be able to get those benefits. So I think more than anything, those are the benefits that we've put in the front line to say, look, you know what, you need to access that. So we do understand the need for saying, look, your eyes can get painful, your teeth can get painful. That's acute medication, that's temporary. We will cater for that. And that's part of our benefit structure as well, from an immediate point of view.
That's what I wanted to know, that, you know, to mira how long to claim to be, you know, to be covered. So that's exactly, I think everybody wanted to know that premiums is things such as diabetes you know, kana munhu atesta HIV positive, yes, tinoziva kuti kune pepfa inopiwa mushonga yemadhona inouya, but for somebody asingakwanisi access that, when does it kick in? That is a very, very important point.
Okay.
Ndopatanga takananga ipapo.
Saka papindurwa panenge papindurwa. I think just maybe to add to the general discussion, one of the things that has to happen is that there has to be some kind of balance. And at the end of the day, insurance is there as a backup, and when things go wrong, but of course in designing the product panenge paine need ofuti yekuti tiite sei tive alert kune zvinhu zvinoita sei zvingangokurumidza zvatambudza vanhu, nekuti how can we best help vanhu kuti product redu riite sei real product of value to the people, because ultimately it's about the value to the people. And now in establishing that, paitwe balance. So maybe to answer Auntie Monica, yes, of course, I appreciate with pangopane situation yekuti munhu atofana kutoti abviswe zino anditika, but at the same time teta chida kutariswa futi kuti right, how can we balance this against zvimwe zvinhu zvataurwa zviya futi anditika, and then that's when we arrive kuti maybe priority has got to be put here in terms of how we design the product.
So I like what George has said. If you allow me to interject you, Auntie Monica, I like what George has said, because you know what, I think we do not. One of the objectives is that I think George will reinstate this later on in the interview. You know, in the broadcast, it's important that we need to balance between the ability to sell dreams and the ability to deliver service. It's very important. That said, we do not want to sell a dream of a service we cannot be able to deliver. One of the things is that as a new product, we need to be able to build a balance sheet to be able to support the premiums and the claims that come along with sort of building that brand. And we do not want to be an overnight brand that within 24 months we've disappeared off the market and you've been paying your premiums, and then 24 months down the line we're out. So what we also need to do is we have to balance from an insurance point of view to say, what can we meet immediately? What are the needs of our consumer base? And what can we be able to meet immediately, like what George is saying? So it's a structured product, and at the same time, one of the core ethos of the products is to be able to deliver quality service to our people. Absolutely. So if we say that we can be able to extract your tooth today for $16,000 or $2,000 when you are paying premiums of $32 or $50 a month, within 2 months, we are exactly selling a dream or a lie to you, which you do not want to do. The most important thing is the sustainability of the relationship that we build with our clients. Like I say to you, we've got 4 million Zimbabweans living outside the country, and we do not want to lose that market within the next 5 years, within the next 10 years. We are here to transform the ethos and the service provision of medical provision in the country. And we want to become the premier service provider within the country and to change the whole landscape. So our vision is not just to become the provider of preferred medical service provision within the country, but to also change the landscape of medical service provision within our country. So our vision is to make our country a first world country in terms of medical service provision. We may not be able to influence the other aspects of our country, be it infrastructure, be it anything, but from a medical service point of view, we're here to change that landscape.
Okay. That's very
good. That's very impressive. That's very impressive, because obviously you're selling a product and you articulate it quite well. And I think interest yawo really the bigger picture. You gave us the bigger picture, what you want to do and what you want to be and how you want to get into the market and what, holding it at the top. But so far, how has it been going since you launched this product? You said it's about a year ago, and how has it been? I mean, honestly, has there been any issues or any problems or satisfaction from those who have access? I don't know how many you have who are subscribing to this or who have taken on this product, Diaspora Medical Insurance, which is fantastic. I don't know how has it been playing out from the time when you launched it, in terms of payments of all these things.
Right. Okay. I think I'll answer part of it, and maybe Tapiwa, you can add on if I miss something along the way. Right. In terms of reception, general public, it has been very good, to be honest. Right. As I mentioned earlier on, what we did, which I think helped us a lot, is at launch, we launched the product through our partners, which I mentioned earlier on, Tengai Online, which I must also declare I'm involved with. So for the avoidance of a conflict of interest, right? But Chataka discovered it is something maybe that was late in arriving, because vanhu vanga vachitozvida kudhara, zvinhu zvanga zvitotsvagwa nevanhu kudhara. I think it's fair to say that healthcare yemunhu chino chakakosha. It's a very important aspect of somebody's life. It becomes even more apparent kana wazviwana uri musituation iwewe semunhu anditika yekuti either iwewe wacho kana kuti hama yako anditika iri kunida access to healthcare, ndo paunoona kukosha kwayo anditika. Saka it's almost like the product has sold itself, because each and every one of us at some point anditika we've been in situations dzekuti tine hama yarwara kana kuti tarwarirwa one way or the other anditika, and we know the experience anditika kuti one you're going through the traumatic experience kuti muri kunetseka kuti okay chiri kunetsa munhu anditika, and on top of that you then have to mobilize my resources ekuti munhu adini ekuti munhu abatsirikane anditika. So that's a challenge ekuti it's faced by almost every one of us anditika. So because of that, it's almost like when we said, look, hamani shamwari tine product iri anditika rinoshanda rakadai yakabva yangowana general acceptance nekuti nekukaskira anditika. So like I said, we rode on that relationship that Tenga Online already had with my existing customers. So we've managed to get quite a reasonable amount of sign-ons through that avenue. But of course, we are working hard to continue to broaden that that base, continue to bring more people on board and so forth. But if I can just also mention, Kutiji, the whole idea, be like as Tapio said, with Diaspora Meds, is we don't want it to be a fly by night in a situation. So we have put a lot of thought into it, and we are reaching out. And to come back to what Diaspora said, what avenues are using, we have a lot of ideas of how we want to reach out to people, but we are doing it in a way that is manageable, as well as in a way that makes the product appeal to the generality of the public. And I think on that note I can pass over to Tapiwa kuti udini upedziseka na paini zvaungo chida kuwedzera about the product and its general acceptance.
Thank you very much, George, in that respect. I think what I would say is George has summed up basically everything. I think to bring a quality service, just to say the bulk of our market is in the diaspora, and they're living in first world countries and expect first world service. And because they do expect first world service, our strategic partnerships has been very key in terms of what we do to deliver service. And for this reason, we've been very finicky, for the lack of a better term, in terms of choosing our strategic partners. And this is why we've chosen Selmet as our underwriter within the country, because of their capability from a balance sheet point of view, and also from a brand point of view within the country to deliver service to us. We've also chosen Markshaw Risk Solutions as a reinsurance broker within South Africa to provide that assurance to the market that, look, hey, we are able to meet the claims of the people. We've also provided reinsurance, and in terms of just a brand point of view, by partnering with Tengai Online, because they're, I think for me, they're the best, if not the premier grocery store within the world for Zimbabweans across the globe. So I think it's 4 strong brands close together coming to bring in a brand. But that's just said, look, we have the biggest database in terms of service provision across the country. We are in every major city, and in every major town, and in every major provincial capital of the country. And what Selmed, our strategic partners, also done is they've built in strategic hospitals and health care services. I think you could research about Nectar Care, a group of services and a group of medical services that they've established across the country. But to point back to your question, Diaspora, look, I'm not the one to speak to people about our service provision in terms of what we've done on the market, because I'm obviously going to tell you that we've done very well since inception. But I would implore our viewers to be able to go on Google and see our Google reviews in terms of what people feel about our service. Because if I'm to give you a service point of view, I'll be very biased. But I would then challenge you to say, hey, look, go on Google, go on, look at our service providers. We've got the best service providers across the country. If I have to be meek in terms of boasting about what we provide for the market, go on Google and see what we've done for our clients. And I think that is the best answer that we can have, because for me and for George or for Simba here, we're going to be biased to tell you what we're doing because we may be selling. But I think the answer is on Google. Go on Google and tell me, and then you can get back to us. And in terms of, you know, if you want to uptake our product, that is the best answer you can be able to get.
I was going to ask you maybe the reinsurance piece. You can talk to me about reinsurance, but what does that mean? Because you made reference to kuti companies are well established for reinsurance purposes. What does that mean? Explain it in simpler words. Imimi is Diaspora Medical Insurance, Munima Partners, anywhere reinsurance. What does that mean in terms of if things go wrong, they are a backup? Go into it.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe if I can just jump in there. So what happens is Cellmed is the primary insurer in Zimbabwe. And behind Cellmed, there are big brothers, which are big international companies like your Cigna Health, as well as Munich Re, Swiss Re, that actually gives them capacity. So there is no point at where Cellmed will actually come back and say we have run out of funds, because they actually go back to the big brother insurance companies, which we call reinsurance companies, where they are able to actually tap into their resources, into their financial resources, so that they are able to meet claims.
Yes, that was the question that I also had, and so thank you for responding to that. Tapiwa, have you got anything to add?
I think Simba has summed it up. If I have to break down reinsurance from a point of view, I'm a banker myself, and Simba is more technical than me from an insurance point of view. But reinsurance just gives you the guarantee that if you've got doubts about your insurer, that will they be able to meet your claims within the country. We are backed internationally by other bigger brothers that can be able to meet our claims in the point of you feeling that Cellmed may default, or any existence of idiosyncratic risks that may exist. So I think in simplicity, we are backed internationally that we cannot fail. We are not too big to fail, but we are backed internationally not to fail.
Come on, George.
I think it's pretty been summed up. Okay.
What's the uptake like? How has it been? I'm just curious on the uptake here, your Diaspora Medical Insurance since last year when you launched it.
So if I have to say, we are overwhelmed with the numbers, and the growth has been phenomenal. We are present in more than 10 countries internationally at the present moment. We are present in the UK, and it's our primary domicile in terms of our presence. And 80% of our clients through the vigilance of Tengai Online are in the UK. We are also present in the United States of America. And I should say, I'm proud to say that you are in Canada, and we are also in Canada. We are also present in Ireland. We are present in UAE. We are present in South Africa. We've got a strong presence as well in countries such as Norway, in Germany. Everywhere where Zimbabweans are present, we are present. And we are growing phenomenally. We've seen a huge migration of clients moving from existing medical aids in Zimbabwe because of service provision. And I will hasten not to mention the names of the medical aids that they've migrated from for professional reasons. But however, we've seen huge migration of clients moving from existing medical aids where they have to move their parents to come to Diaspora Meds. And like I said to you, we're in existence in more than 10 countries of the world where Zimbabweans are in domicilia. And we envisage that within the next 12 months, we see ourselves entering into about 50 countries where Zimbabweans are domiciled. We've had invitations already from a lot of countries where Zimbabweans have access to come and pitch the product. We've had invitations from Botswana where more than 1,000 Zimbabweans have access to come and pitch the product and explain the technicalities of the product. We will be in the UK in the coming year just to grow the brand visibility of the product as well. We've been invited to the UAE, and we're going to be in United States of America. You know, the vision is to reach out to all the 4 million or more Zimbabweans. I may be statistically wrong, but our vision is to reach out to every one of the Zimbabweans out there so that we may be able to offer peace of mind. For us, we're offering more than just selling medical aid or selling medical insurance to you. We are selling peace of mind. If I say maybe selling peace of mind, I may be wrong. but we are sharing peace of mind with every other Zimbabweans because of people that share, as people that share the same story in terms of the things and the needs that we share back home. We are people that are saying, hey, look, you know what, we're in partnership with yourselves. Do not let the peace of mind of knowing that your mom is sleeping in hospital and you cannot foot the bill. Because we've gone through the same circumstances. We are here to basically offer peace of mind more than offer a profitable product to anyone else. So uptake has been great and overwhelming, and it's growing, and it will continue to grow.
That's quite impressive because I know it's an issue. An issue for a lot of people who are in the diaspora and they've got family and parents back home, and a situation arises and they have to vanonzi muchikuda mari yakati, right? Vasati vaunza munhu hospital mari yacho toibata sei. You know how it is kumusha vanhu, everybody's struggling to put on the table, and kana marwarirwa zvatouya and wodini. That's quite impressive. It's a product needed.
Absolutely, because 2 months ago, Gogo vedu vangu vari in hospital, and we all of a sudden we found ourselves overwhelmed because kwanga kuchidiwa mari every day, and mari yacho yanga ichidaidzirwa. You know, it didn't make sense. Inenge ichifana kubhadharwa every day for time yavari in hospital macho, but because you're under pressure and you don't want to lose your, you know, your parent, your granny or whatever, you just have to pay Maria Chenenge Chinzi unzai whether muri kutaurirwa chokwadi kana kuti mukunyeperwa muchatombozia, because there's so much happens. Vamwe vanhu vanenge vatoriwo vamwe mafamily members vanenge vatoriwo needs, and inotoitawo nguva yekuti izvona vanodaidzira kuti pari kudiwa 2000 iko kuri kudiwa 500 chete, so that iwewe vanoziva kuti izvona you do everything you can kuti uraise mari iyoyo utumire. And Saka, it's a very good service that you're providing.
It's very true, Monica. If I have to share a few personal testimonies of our clients, we had a client in January whose mother was diagnosed of COVID, and he joined the medical aid 2-3 days prior to his mother being diagnosed of COVID. And the hospital bill was humongous. It was literally sitting at about $2,000. But for a start, they just needed about $500 for you to get into hospital and access oxygen. And we do understand that from the panic level, point of view, you are sitting in Canada, you are sitting in UAE, you are sitting in the UK. You want that peace of mind that your parent or your relative has got that access to the private medical health care, and they've got access to oxygen, they've got access to all these kind of things. If anything, the pandemic has taught us that you can always plan your pleasure, but pain will always schedule itself. So because pain will schedule itself ahead of yourself, you have to schedule your insurance ahead of the pain.
Yeah. Mataura good point apa. Saka muno cover ere ma pre-existing. How does that work? Pre-existing ne time ya yatanga tichitaura, because kana iri pre-existing problem and then doctor insurance panap. Cover right away ere kana kuti. A month or two.
Thank you for asking that question, because if you'd never asked that question, I'd never have been able to remember to actually mention a very critical point. Our medical aid is not segregatory in terms of what we cover. So we do not look at what are the pre-existing conditions. Like I said, we've waived waiting periods for things such as HIV and AIDS, diabetes, hypertension, arthritis, just to mention but a few. We, before anything, are here to cater for the community, and if could put the community before ourselves. And if we say our medical aid is segregatory in terms of what we cater for, then we are getting the whole point wrong in the first place. So what we've done is, like I said to you, we've waived the waiting period for chronic conditions. So, of course, there will be standard and complicated situations like chemotherapy that have a waiting period. But however, the medication does not have a waiting period. But things like chemotherapy and accessing all those kind of things may have a waiting period. But for medication purposes, to get you to the next lifeline, we've waived those things. So our medical aid is not segregatory in terms of what conditions are underlying. So whether you've got HIV and AIDS, BP, diabetes, we do not discriminate on our medical aid. You are covered immediately for medication and acute medication and getting just a general scan and going to see the doctor. We believe that can get you to the next stage of waiting for your waiting period for whatever specialist you need to see. So I think we've structured in such a way that we are not segregatory from a point of view of any underlying conditions.
Okay. So before
so our acceptance rate is 100%.
That's cool. That is cool. That is amazing. Saka ndisati ndakanganwa munofanira kuzotarisa patrader pamuchipindura vanhu mibvunzo imwe yavachabvunza nekuisa ma-details enyu, because pane vari kuda kunzwa kuti what are your contact details so that they can contact you vari kuCanada. Umwe mubvunzo kuda maupindura kudhara, but pabvunzwa kuti who is your underwriter.
Okay, so just to say who's our underwriter, which we've answered already, but because of the love of our clients, we have to answer this again. Our underwriter is Selmed Insurance, and our underwriter is strategically chosen for many reasons, which I'll mention once again. Firstly, we've chosen our underwriter from a balance sheet capability point of view, which I think Simba may help me to expound on after my discussion. Firstly, from a balance sheet point of view, especially from a foreign currency denominated underwriting point of view, Summit is the only strategic partner who we felt and who we did a DD on in terms of being able to underwrite that capability. I think basically they are the insurer of choice within the country. If you find most of the high institutions from mining to health to anything, they are going with Summit, and we had no option but to go with a premium service provider in terms of underwriting. Summit also boasts of an service provider from a private medical point of view of more than 400 to 500 service providers across the country, as I mentioned earlier on. Summit has also shown commitment in terms of investing in the healthcare industry by building their own hospitals, buying into hospitals, building their own pharmacies. They've built into a state-of-the-art medical care system called Nectar Care. And because they've done this, we then said, hey, look, this is the best partner to be able to partner within the country. So they are our underwriter and we are confident. And because they also have strong reinsurance alliances via Marshall Risk Solutions, like Simba mentioned earlier on, we've said, look, these are the best people to be able to partner on with. I think, Simba, you may add a bit of flesh to my discussion.
No, I think you've nailed it.
Simba, before you jump in, I just wanted to throw in something so that maybe you could answer it as well while you're at it, because you kept referencing they build their state-of-the-art hospitals across the nation. Where are you? Which nation are you talking? They've got hospitals in Zimbabwe, or I'm not quite sure, because while you're explaining, maybe you could explain that.
Yeah, so if maybe I can just also jump in. Yeah, so Cellmed, through their other company, subsidiary company called Nectar Care, they've built a number of hospitals in Zimbabwe. So they've got hospitals in Harare, they've got hospitals and pharmaceutical companies in Bulawayo, in all major cities, even as far as Hwange. They actually control the Hwange Colliery Hospital. So they have a number of hospitals. So in terms of claiming, you actually go to some of the of their hospitals or in some of the network of the health service providers that they have. Like what Tapio has said, they've got more than 400 health service providers and centers that you can actually go to actually get your service. And then in terms of the balance sheet, like we said, it's actually backed by major international reinsurance companies like your Cigna Health, which is actually based out of the UK. So in addition to their own strength of their own balance sheet, they're actually backed by some international reinsurance companies that actually provide them capacity.
And if I can just add in terms of, I know we keep talking about the network of hospitals and service providers. If you go onto the Diaspora Meds website and you go onto the page where it says service providers, there is quite a comprehensive list of all the service providers. That can be of benefit to our viewers who might want to know who are these service providers that they keep talking about. If you go there, you will see them, and some of the names might even be familiar when you get there. So that's something to just mention so that the viewers can have an opportunity to have a look here.
Yes, I mean, it's good. I mean, this is an opportunity for you guys to sell your product. Go ahead and tell us. I mean, you could name some of these. I'm sure it's okay to name some of these institutions you're talking about, the hospitals. Then give us 5, 6, 7 of them, because I mean, when you say they've got a whole host of hospitals, and are you talking of Mutoko Hospital or Nyamapanda Hospital, or what are you talking about? So tell us this. This is an opportunity to talk about the people you're working with, these vast hospitals that are in Zimbabwe. It would be great to know. I just thought, give you this.
I like your question. I like your question, Auntie Spiwe, and I don't want to oversell and I don't want to undersell our presence. But however, I should say that I don't know of any private medical service provider that were not present within the country, especially top notch. Whether it's a pharmacy, whether it's an optician, whether it's a dentist, whether it's a dental, a dentist, or whether it's a specialist in anything. But if I have to mention, we are present in your avenues. We are present in Corporate 24. We are present in Nectar Care, like the ones that they provided. And I should say that we are present in every private pharmacy across the country. And if I know any specialist of top notch, whether it's optical or opticians or dentistry, we are there. Yeah. Like George has said, I would not think of a private medical service provider who's not on our database, unless they are a government service provider. And this is not throwing a will in the span of government service providers. I do not know, out of the DD I've done, I don't know of any private top-notch service provider who's not on our database or who does not accept our card across the country. I could go mentioning names, and this could be sort of like a marketing gimmick for me, marketing every service provider. I could say Dr. Kurama Tunu, I could say Dr. Gumede, all those kind of things, which people would be able to resonate with. But I'm saying, if like George said, if you go on our database and you don't see a service provider who's a top-notch in the country, I'll be glad to explain.
Yeah, maybe just also to add, I think there's also more than 16 card collection centers across the country, which one can actually collect their medical aid card, because once you signed up to the product, your dependents back home, they would actually have the opportunity to have a medical aid card, which they can actually use with all the service providers in the country.
That's really good. I think it was important because we called you here so that you tell us everything. Because tikuda kuti vanhu va benefit. Saka atina kunge taisa ningirikini a clause yekuti zvona do not sell yourself. Because tikuda kuti vanhu vazive about the services, but also you need to remember kuti vamwe takabva kumusha kudhara. Saka mazita acho techida kutoaudzwa kuti tirimembe kuti okay, kana service iri kunzi iri linked to this organization or this medical center, it's a good one. Saka musanetseke henyu nekumenshena kuti tinosenzana ningi, because zvinotibatsirawo isusu kuti tigone kuita relate, but also to build a trust in your product.
Yeah.
So just to back that question up, we are present in avenues, hospital. We are present in your West End. We are present in your Nectar Care. We are present in your Mater Day in Blawayo, UBH, Corporate 24. Like I've said, we are present in Nectar Care. We are present in Trinity Pharmacy, in 4th Street Pharmacy. We are present. Just to mention but a few, which I think are some of the most reputable medical service providers and present in all of the major capitals of the country. And then we also have private doctors who, off the top of my head, may be difficult to mention, but we've tried to cover every private doctor within every city and town and in every growth point. Like I said, we've got 500 of them, and I might not remember all of them off the top of my head. But from a hospital point of view, like I've mentioned to you, your Westerns, your Corporate 24s, your UPH, your Matter Days, all those kind of service providers, we do have them on our database.
Yeah, maybe just also to add that in addition to the healthcare service providers in Zimbabwe, we also have others in South Africa. Like in South Africa, the whole Netcare group, with all their hospitals in South Africa, the clients on Diaspora Meds are actually able to go into those health service providers and actually get assistance. And then also the other center of excellence is India, where we've got a partnership with Apollo. So with all the Apollo hospitals in India, they would also be able to get the service.
Thank you very much. So tasarwa minutes mashoma. Ndakukupai may say about 1 minute. Kuti tite round up. We're starting with Mkoma George.
Okay. No, maita basa Auntie Monica. Ndoda kutanga nekutendai nekutipa opportunity kuti tiwe pano tichikurukura nyaya tichikurukura because I think inyaya yakakosha in the sense that sekutaura kwanamboita healthcare yemunhu chinhu chakakosha stereki anditika, and it's something chekuti I think tatoambopa testimony ye-client anditika, but I will even give you a personal testimony, something that is to do with my own family. And we found ourselves this is a few years back in a situation yekuti taita urwere anditika, urwere huya hwaitika unfortunately panga pasina healthcare insurance anditika, but sekutaura kwamamboita Auntie Monica, munhu wese situation iyo kana even yaarise zvakaita se you do everything that you can anditi kuti ubatsirane nehama yako, and of course ndo zvatakaitawo semhuri anditika. Needless to say kuti after zvazoitika zvese zvezvo fortunately takabatsirika nesituation yatanga tiinayo, but tabatsirika kudaro takasara taane rimwe dambudziko anditika. Dambudziko rakasara taanaro raive dambudziko rekuti takasara homwe dzati kwadzwe bichana. Saka it took us a long time. I'm speaking here more on a personal level. It took a very long time to recover from that position. And I think maybe had the situation been different, dai kuri kunzi panga paine a product like this, the story might have been a different one for myself. So ndinongoti nemazwi iwayo ndo zvimwe zvinhu zvatinenge tichifanira kutarisa sevanhu kuti how best can we help ourselves, because we are not just helping the person ari kumba, but we are also even helping ourselves maybe to kind of shield ourselves from a financial point of view. Nemashokeo ndo pasa hangu over to our next
Mkoma Tapiwa.
Okay, thank you so much, Auntie Monica. I think from me, the most important thing is like what George has said. I want to reiterate. Like I said, we're not here just to sell a product, but we're here to change the landscape of medical service provision within the country. But moreover, we're here to provide peace of mind. I would like to envisage a situation like George has said, where you're distant and you're miles away from your parents or from your relatives or from everyone, and you may be able to see them only once in 5 years or once in 4 years. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to have peace of mind. And this is what Diaspora Medical Insurance is offering. We're offering peace of mind through an impeccable service provider list that we have, and an impeccable product, an honest product that comes to the market and says, hey, look, we're here to serve your loved ones back home, and we're available 24/7 to be able to give you an impeccable service. I think for me, more than anything, if people have to take away a point back home, is Diaspora Medical Insurance is here to give you peace of mind.
Thank you. Mkoma Simba.
Right, things are nice doubter, but maybe just in addition, I just also wanted to say the product has got an easier way of paying the premiums, because you can actually pay through a link which is on the website, or we can do international debit orders. I think the product is here to stay, and the product is actually here to provide you peace of mind, like what my colleagues have said. Thank you.
Thank you. Tetespi.
Oh, peace of mind, peace of mind, peace of mind. That's very, very important to everybody in the diaspora, because the concern here family back home is key. Kuti zvinhu zvinenge zvichiva-affecta, zvinoti-affecta indirectly. You can't sleep, you have to take 2-3 jobs because you're worried about my fees, education, and kufirwa and zvakadaro-daro. Saka isusu panapa tina-appreciate people from home vanenge vachitanga ma-products akadai so ekusapota vanhu. Our job pasalve ndeyekuita sell things to vanhu vaAfrica vachona isusu vari mudiaspora neavo vari kumusha kuti vazive kuti tichiri available, and we appreciate this very much, and you're coming to sell your product. And you were lucky because we didn't get any other. We would have had other people who would take this whole product for you, similar product, but you were fortunate because you were here alone to sell your product. And I think in the diaspora, when my family are kumusha, check this on and see how we can support families. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maita basa chaiso ve diaspora insurance, diaspora medical insurance kuya kuzotaura nesu. South TV is a bridge between Zimbabwe and diaspora because it's reconnected. Apana patinoita thrive tisina make sure kuti muri dzedu kumusha dziri right. Saka South TV sekutaura kwaita antispiwe. Aim yedu is to bring awareness, to help vanhu nekuchinja mindsets in so many other things. Nekudzidzisana uye nekubatsirana. And this product is a very good product. Tukumbira kuti kana tapedza, munoenda onto the thread, you share the video, you subscribe to South TV, and then more comment kupindura mibvunzo, as well as to add any other information that you think is necessary for and important for people to have. Thank you so much. Maita Bas.
Thank you so much for coming, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for having us. We look forward to answering any questions that come and being of service to our diaspora community and to our fellow Zimbabweans, and we're here to serve and bring peace of mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Atere Maita Bas. Bye-bye.
Okay, cheers, bye.